What's up guys, it's the Rough Monster here, and today I'm going to make a video going over how to make profit on trade-ups by using float values in order to minimize on the cost of an average trade-up. I'm going to start from really low noob level basis knowledge and then get into some more complicated stuff later, so feel free to skip ahead if you already feel like you know some of the stuff that I'm talking about. So here I'm going to explain what a float value is. A float value is a number between 1 and 0 that is used to determine where a skin actually is. So as you can see here, I've used this nice little diagram that I made to indicate that if a float value of a weapon is X, where X is greater than 0 but smaller than 0.07, it's going to be factory new. If X is greater than 0.07 but smaller than 0.15, it's going to be minimal wear, and you can work it out for the rest here, but it's a number that's randomly assigned to a skin, and I'll be showing you how to check that later. So for the example of explaining the trade-up contract, I'm going to use the Fire Serpent. I pulled this data from CSGO Stash. It's a really useful source for all the information. You should check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. As you can see, that the float minimum is 0.06, which we're going to label A. Now the float maximum is 0.76, which we're going to call B. And then this float range, which is the maximum minus the minimum, is B minus A, which is 0.76 minus 0.06, which is 0.7. Now, if we get this in a trade-up, the outcome float, so the float of the Fire Serpent, is going to be the average float of the 10 skins that we use in the trade-up, multiplied by the float range, which is 0.7, and then we add the float minimum. But the nice thing about knowing all these numbers is that we can reverse engineer it in order to find the float required of the 10 skins in order to get a factory new Fire Serpent. For a skin to be factory new, it needs to have a float of less than 0.07. So we can use that fact with the fact that we have a formula to find the average float of the 10 skins you use in order to get a factory new Fire Serpent. So you do the 0.07, which is showing that it's factory new, is equal to the average of the 10 floats that you use multiplied by the float range and then plus the float minimum. Then you can just subtract this float minimum onto the other side of the equation, and you just get 0.01 is equal to the average float of the 10 skins used multiplied by the float range. Then you can divide this number, the 0.01, by the float range to get the average float of the 10 skins used, which here works out to this number. So in order to get a factory new Fire Serpent from a trade-up, the average float of the 10 skins you use needs to be less than this number. So for the example that I'm going to use in the video, I'm going to trade up these 10 sorted acid fades that I just bought from the market. Now, the average float value of these acid fades is 0.01417901351. Now, obviously, since there's only one purple in the collection, in the late collection, it's going to trade up to a nitro. So if we pull up the CSGO Stash page for the M4NS Nitro, we can see that the float minimum is 0.06. and the float maximum is 0.8, so the float range is 0.74. So we're going to do this number here, the average, multiplied by 0.74, which gives us this number here. Now we need to add the float minimum, which is 0.06. So the float of the nitro that we're going to get is going to be 0.0492, etc. And this can obviously be checked by looking at Exchange, but it's going to take a while to load. I'll go ahead and do the contract now, and you'll be able to see that once I've actually done it, the M4NS Nitro that we're going to get is going to be the float of 0.70492 or whatever it's going to be. So this isn't a profitable contract, this is just me doing it for the sake of the video. It's lagging a bit thanks to based Steam, but if we go ahead and check now, I'll pull up my Steam inventory here. If we go to my inventory, go to my CSGO one, we can see that the float is 0.07, which is exactly what we said it was going to be. Now at this point, I'm sure some of you are wondering, okay, well, this flow math stuff, it's kind of stupid. What's the point in it? And I'll show you now. So for stuff like the Bloodsport, the new AK from the new case, the float range is only 0.45, meaning that you can use field tested skins in order to get the factory new, and obviously if you use just field tested skins, it's going to be a lot cheaper than just buying all factory new. So you don't need to use factory new skins in order to get the factory new Bloodsport. You can just use a mixture of field tested and minimal wear. If you want to see examples of this, you can go and watch my previous videos on profitable trade ups. So another big thing about trade ups is obviously the odds of the outcomes. So a lot of people who do a lot of trade up contracts have sort of come to the conclusion that this is how the odds work. So for example, let's say the Amber Fade. The Amber Fade is a purple that trades up to only the R8 Amber Fade. And then let's say from the new case, the new Spectrum collection, you can get either the AWP, the M4, or the CZ Xiangyu. So if you put 9 Amber Fades in, that's a total of 9 possible outcomes. And if you put 1 purple from the Spectrum collection in, that's a total of 3 outcomes. So the total number of outcomes that you can get is 12. So the chances aren't 10% for Spectrum. The chances are actually 3 out of 12 for Spectrum and 9 out of 12 for the R8 Amber Fade, which means if you do a lot of these contracts, it's a lot more likely to be profitable than, for example, if you just put in a bunch of Spectrum ones. I'm hoping I did a good job explaining everything. If I didn't, or you have any questions, just write them in the comments below and I'll try to get back to you. Also, I'm going to be doing a bunch more videos over the next couple of days, so feel free to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content like that. Also, I'm going to take the last couple seconds of this video to sell out. If you go to the description below, you'll be able to see a giveaway I'm doing with Tea with Milk and Sugar, giving away a Karambit Tiger Tooth, an M9 Tiger Tooth, and 5 Factory New AK Vulcans. There'll be a link to that gleam there. Also, feel free to use my affiliate code of RUFFLE on CSGO Live. I'll put a link to that as well, and then you can also check out cs.deals in order to do all of your TradeBot stuff, and I'll put a link for that as well.